Boom! What's up, Waves Capital? It's Jacob, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about C3 AI Inc., or ticker symbol AI. We'll begin by reflecting upon some of the trades that we've made over the course of 2023 so far that have created some life-changing gains for us, with some of our options contracts up over 7,000% since the time of inception. If you guys know Waves Cap, you guys know that we swing trade options. And you guys, this is a return that I think anyone who's been in the game for any amount of time would be happy with. So we will dive more into that later. But again, I really do want to reflect on the game plan that we created when we initially created the thesis that the AI sector would experience a hype cycle, which has now, of course, been proven to be true. But of course, after we're done reflecting, I really want to focus on the future, because that's what really matters, and talk to you guys about my plan of attack as far as trades are concerned from here, where I believe the stock goes from here on a short to medium term time horizon. Because in all honesty, as you can see in front of us, I do think we will be experiencing a short term pullback. Of course, I will elaborate on that once we dive into the charts. But after that, I do believe a second wave is coming. And of course, I got to talk to you guys about where that second wave will be going, at least in my opinion. Okay, so that's the breakdown of the video, you guys. Before we get to reading, I do want to say that if you guys have not yet joined Waves Capital, if you guys are not a part of the complete portfolio and daily newsletter program, then I would highly suggest you consider joining, you guys. I never feel guilty plugging my product because I put so much time and work into it. This is my full-time job on top of trading, of course, but actually I put a lot more time into this than trading. But you guys, the returns you would have experienced if you have been a part of Waves Cap from the beginning of 2023 to now, for the price of only $15 a month, would have paid off, paid off membership for, I have to imagine, your entire lifetime, regardless of how long or how much you've invested, I should say. Okay, so if you guys have not yet joined Waves Capital for real, again, consider just taking a look at it. Try it for free for a little bit. You can try it free for 7 days. And if you don't like it, just bail out. But it's only $15 a month, you guys. And considering we do have options that, once again, are up 7,000% since inception. Of course, the portfolio overall is not up 7,000%. That's like a 70x. But as of right now, the Waves Capital options portfolio year to date is up 15x. And again, AI is just one of the few positions in the portfolio. So if you guys want to join me on the ride, if you guys want to join me in potentially catching the next C3 AI, and I do have a few in mind, join Waves Capital, you guys. The link is in the description box down below. And if you guys are already a part of Waves Cap, then I greatly appreciate you, and congrats to a freaking amazing month, you guys. Okay, so plug out of the way. But again, I feel zero guilt about plugging this when Waves Cap is on absolute fire. Let's get to reading. Okay, so the stock gods continue to bless Waves Capital, and I thank them for that. I keep waiting to wake up one of these mornings to find that the party has finally come to an end. But fortunately for us, this party has been proven to be quite the bender. I love me a good party, and yep, we're going to keep on with this analogy, but it's both unreasonable and unhealthy to party for weeks on end. Rest and recovery is critical to maintain longevity. And personally, I believe that it's finally time for our beloved C3 AI Inc. to call it a night and get some rest. I know I said we'd celebrate in this newsletter, but honestly, we've been celebrating for a week straight now, and it's time to focus on the path ahead of us. And again, we will be doing that later in this video. But, we'll still celebrate at the end, and that applies to this video as well. I'd be truly surprised if we don't see a meaningful correction over the following session or two, but I want to make it clear that I believe this downside will only be temporary. I expect a short-term correction prior to a second wave that will take us to new highs and not a crash. And once again, I will be elaborating on this further as we dive into the charts with specific targets, okay? So again, amazing week, you guys, amazing month so far. I did just want to reference this price targets newsletter I released on January 23rd, just to throw it back a little bit so we can reflect on the progress we've made. And again, really life-changing gains, you guys. I said this in the newsletter, and you guys, thankfully this past week and even the past month, definitely year to date, has been the best month of my entire trading career from a percentage return perspective. Again, when you look at this, we'll just bring it up now. This is on the Waves Capital IG. Go check that out. I post some shorts over there as well. If you guys are interested, if not, no worries at all. But I did just post this again. If you are part of, again, the portfolio group and you've been following along with the trades, then you know that, why isn't this loading? Then you know that I did sell some of these contracts. I don't know why this isn't loading, you guys. Probably because I zoomed in all weird on this. But as you guys can see right here, I did post this 217 options contract, okay? This is call options contract with an expiration date of February 17th at a strike price, I should say, of $15. AI at the time of closing on Friday, which was, it'd be, again, just looking at this, it's crazy not to believe that we'd see a short-term correction, but hey, maybe we keep ripping. We'll expand on the different potential scenarios after this. But again, you guys, seeing how far AI has come, let's just get a quick price range on this just to reference the options contract. We established a lot of these contracts, back in late December. But, from bottom at about $10 to top, AI is up about 180%. And again, you guys, when you trade options, if you've been trading options with us for a long time, where am I going? There we go. If you've been trading options with us for a long time, I always say this. Options don't necessarily trade on volatility. They trade on perceived volatility, okay? Of course, the volatility doesn't matter, but because we created these options contracts, we established this position at a point in C3 AI's time where it was very stagnant, there was low volumes, and it really didn't seem to the majority like we could get the price action that we're seeing now. We took advantage. Again, we executed on that game plan. We created some relatively safe options contracts. Again, this is a $15 strike, you guys. The options on this contract are $15 strike. And, you could say it was risky at the time, but I had confidence in my thesis, and it paid off big time because, again, these contracts are now up almost 7,400%, which is absolutely insane. Again, if you're part of the portfolio newsletter group, again, I do post those trade alerts. Many of you would know, of course, because I do update the portfolio every day as well. Most of you would know that I did sell, and I did sell all of these. I just kept this one so we could track kind of the lifetime gains until the expiration date. I probably won't sell this. For full transparency, you guys, I did begin with 150 of these 217 $15 AI contracts. Unfortunately, but that's the game. I did not hold all of them until yesterday, until Friday, January 3rd, of course. I did take a lot of profits along the way. Once my first target range was achieved, I took a lot of profits. With each rip to the upside, I did take profits. And again, you guys, that's obviously I could have made way more money in the case that I just held on to them, but I feel zero guilt because I knew I took the responsible actions at the time. Because although in retrospect, again, everything is 2020 in retrospect, things don't always go the way you plan. Things can take a turn. Things can pivot on a dime, you guys. Things can happen fast. And when you're in the place of making profits like this, seeing gains like this, again, seeing life-changing gains, like I'm sure many of you have, it's so important to not get greedy, stay rational, and really stick to your game plan, all right? Again, I've been referencing this in the newsletter for a lot longer than January 23rd. You guys know the first video I made on C3 was in December. So I've had a plan in place. Again, I had that initial target range in place, the $16 to $18 gap range. That was my initial target range. We blew right through that, but a lot of profits were taken there. And again, although I could have made more money, I feel zero guilt about what has gone down. Okay, so just wanted to do a little reflection, wanted to talk a little bit about profit taking, because when you're dealing with a runner like this, it's so freaking important to, again, not get greedy, stay rational, and realize some gains. And again, you guys would know this if you guys are reading my daily newsletters. Don't get greedy. I want to repeat that one more time. But also, you guys, don't feel so eager to just take some profits and then put them right back into something else, all right? Lock in the wins, okay? You got to lock in the wins sometimes. You got to transfer some of that brokerage balance into your bank account to lock in the trade and really solidify it as a win, okay? For longevity as a trader, that is a very, very necessary lesson to learn. And I'm sure a lot of you did learn that over the course of 2022. Including myself, is a great reminder. But you guys take some profits, throw some of those profits into your bank account, because again, these are life-changing gains, and you want to solidify this win. And hey, maybe we see a pullback. Very confident we'll see a pullback, so we'll jump into that right now. I actually just want to discuss just my most recent price targets newsletter, and again, this is just where I go over a bunch of charts every trading day and talk to you guys about my updated thoughts on them. I just want to read my most recent price targets newsletter. Of course, this is once again from Friday, January 3rd. I'm recording this on the weekend following that, and then I'll expand as we dive into the charts, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, you guys. So it's time for a power nap. Really, referencing the analogies over here. Time for a power nap. C3 needs to rest up for its second wave. We may not fall this far, but technically speaking, $18 to $19 looks to me like a reasonable pullback range. It serves as both, and again, this applies to everything we're looking at here. So I guess we'll just look at this and close out the video, and go up here to talk about where the second wave could potentially take us. Okay, again, technically $18 to $19 looks to me like a reasonable pullback range. It serves as both the top end of our initial gap range. So again, the gap range right here, that initial gap range I was just talking about, where I took a bunch of profits. It acts as both the top end of this initial gap range, as well as the previous line of resistance on C3AI's megaphone channel. You see these two lines right here creating that megaphone pattern, hence the name, the megaphone channel, which is another area where I took some significant profits right around here, around $17.80, $18. A lot of profits on those February calls. Just talking to you guys through some of the actions and how I think about profit taking. And for full transparency, it was probably like 20 to 30% at least of the position when we struck the bottom end over here. Another like 40% over here, and then just chipping off 10% every day up from there. But again, just kind of spitballing you guys my thoughts, because hopefully we get some more like this. Anyway, C3AI, I do think we do see a short-term pullback. Again, this rip we've seen has been extraordinary. The volume we're seeing is absolutely bonkers. Let's move my fat head quick so we can take a look at the volume right now. It's 70 million shares when average is at 24. So we're nearly 3xing the current volume on here, and that's no surprise looking at those volume pars. You'd love to see that, you guys. I said this in the last video, but I'll say it again. When we're talking about a hype cycle, you need the price action, because price action ultimately leads to discovery. Discovery leads to further education on the underlying assets. Of course, AI is not going anywhere. C3 AI as a company is freaking amazing and has such a bright future ahead of it. And once again, the upside potential is far less limited than many other hype cycles we've experienced in the past. At least that's my that's my thesis on it. And although I do think we can go much higher, I do once again think a short-term correction is in the cards, given the overbought nature of this stock on that short-term time horizon. Okay, so again, you guys, you could have just screenshotted this for yourself. Of course, once again, if you're following along with the newsletters, if you're subscribed, if you're a member of Waves Cap, you always have access to these. But $18 personally is my correction target range. Maybe we don't fall that far. Maybe we hit, even right here, you guys, again, it's the top end of that gap range. We did see some resistance here. That's where we pulled back perfectly prior to that next rip to the upside, where we perfectly tested my initial wave one target, or what I would say is my best case scenario wave one target of previous support that was not yet tested as new resistance. You can see here that was confirmed as such almost to a T. Beat me by a little bit, but almost to a T. Did test that previous line of support as new resistance prior to seeing that pullback on Friday from like up 30% to maybe up like 15% or something like that. And again, it would simply be greedy to believe that we keep ripping from here. I think we do pull back, in my mind, the $18 to $19 range, maybe $20. It's nice psychological even. I will say $20 is probably where I'd begin adding more shares to my existing position. So I do think we do see a pullback. I think we pull back to at least $20 if I'm being completely honest. I think we go sideways for a little bit. We plateau. You let some of the people who bought up top just weed themselves out. The early adopters, those who got in down here, are less likely to sell. We find that middle ground. We capitulate a little bit, and you take a rest. And you rest up well for the second wave that's coming. So where do I think this second wave is taking us? Initially, I'm going to be honest, I thought the second wave was going to take us to this previous line of support as new resistance. But C3 AI proved me wrong in the best of ways right there. So right now, given the momentum, given the volume, given the excitement around AI and this stock specifically, I think we pull back again, go sideways for a little bit. And ultimately, I do think that by the springtime at the latest, I think the second wave ends up taking us to C3 AI's IPO price of $42. Again, you guys, from here, that would result, from $26, that would result in another 65% of upside. If we do pull back to my $18 to $19 target range, that would result in another 135% of upside. Okay, so play it smart, you guys. I know times are exciting, but stay rational. Again, keep a cool head on your shoulders. And once again, if you guys are a part of Waves Capital, congratulations. It has been an amazing week. Tonight, I'm celebrating with a lot of family and friends, and I hope you guys are doing the same. So, cheers to you, Waves Capital. I'm proud of all of you. Again, the gains are well-deserved. And if you guys are not yet a part of Waves Capital, join the team, and I look forward to seeing you guys inside. Again, first link down below. And of course, I'll see you all in the comments downstairs. And, maybe in the Instagram comments as well, because it's pretty sleepy. So it's a good place to connect directly. I'll talk to you guys later. I appreciate you for watching. And as always, take action and make waves. Peace, team.